Hello and welcome to the show. I am back at the top of Mt Chiliad testing out some of the new cars from the Ill-Gotten Gains DLC. Up first we have got the Stirling. I have to say I really do quite like this vehicle. I love the exhaust sticking out to the side. It has gull-wing doors. It is an absolutely fantastic vehicle, and of course the best way to test these cars out is to race them down Mt Chiliad and see what times they set. I have to say I actually was amazed, having not driven this for such a long time. I got stopped for the first corner right. I may have forgotten about the rock hidden in the bushes later down, but I actually got it stopped for the first sort of corner bit. But yeah, I would bump a rock. And the other thing that I do remember is the insta-karma if you happen to run over a hiker. I don't think I've ever completed a run having run over a hiker. The karma will throw you off the course and break your car. And yeah, it was just instantly at the next corner, the Stirling would be off and, well, not quite wedged beside a tree. There's not really a huge amount of places to go from this particular point. Yeah, as I said, I do quite like this vehicle. However, the overhangs are a little bit of a problem, as we saw there. I just ran a little bit wide. I kind of ended up coming off the lip of that jump a bit awkwardly, and yeah, clipping the back of that sent the car into a little bit of a front flip. Another thing that I did have problems with was this final section. Now, it has been quite a while since I have raced cars down Mount Chiliad. My memory may not be quite as fantastic with quite how the course was in previous iterations, but I don't remember quite having so many problems on that particular bit. Again, we may have hikers may have been sort of appearing at a bad point when I set up on the run, and instantly karma got me straight away at the first corner. I got it stopped before tumbling to just got it stopped before tumbling too far. Well, almost, just about. I'm trying to. It's not really working. It's yeah, it may be ever so slightly going down the ravine. Yes, aside from the final section being a tad tricky, there isn't a huge. I didn't notice anything massively different between this and the Xbox One version. I then probably get more problems with the overhangs, clipping the rock, and managed to get in the car pretty much beached for a little. I eventually got it free. But yeah, the overhang at the back is so large, it can actually cause quite a bit of problems for this car. If you're flying down here at these sort of speeds, it's fine, but yeah, you can get it a little bit stuck. This was another place, we have had problems here before, with you carry a lot of speed over the first part of the jump, you kind of just lift off the ground, just a tiny bounce on the landing, and then you're off. It's one of the fastest parts of this route, and yeah, the Stirling was having that issue, as you just carry a lot of speed. Again, down into the first corner we go for a spectacular number of rolls from this. It's definitely much more of a rolly episode. We haven't had a good rolly episode for a while. Yeah, there are many tumblings with the cars on here. It's so easy to carry just that little bit too much speed into the first corner here. The reason why is there's quite a large jump down there, and if you brake before the jump, you're okay. If you sort of leave it a little bit too late when you're sort of pushing the car, you end up getting airtime, and then you can't brake until you've landed, and then you're off. I may have ran a tiny bit wide and found some bumps. There are quite a lot of bumps out there, and car almost. I was thinking it was going to get wedged coming off there. Unfortunately, the back didn't quite get caught. Again, we see the bouncing up on landing. I managed to keep it under control for the first part, but couldn't quite aim the car for this little sort of this road that I take, and then we go tumbling again as it spins. I do manage to get it back under control just about, but yeah, it all happened at the previous jump. It is a very quick car, this thing. I have to say, I was impressed with the speed of the Stirling. It wasn't terrible. It only didn't take too long to get a clean run with this vehicle. Yeah, it's a nice handling car. The main issues I had with it was carrying just sort of too much speed over jumps and sort of soaring into the scenery. The bushes are a pain in the arse. I think I may ever so slightly have brushed that bush there. Yeah. These really annoying slowdown bushes cause problems because they're sort of right on the edge of the course. It's very easy just to accidentally end up going through them. Had no real issues coming down this part of the course. It got turned lovely through all of the hairpins. This is another bit where you've got to really make sure you get the car slowed down across that bump. I mean, on this particular run, you can see how I was right on the edge. Again, there's overhangs on the back, sort of catching it. It kind of saved me a little bit on that, I will be honest. So it was just sort of riding along on the rear bumper there, and it managed to get me out of trouble. This time I get that jump perfectly landed. I think almost every single time I took that jump there was a hiker around there that saw a flying Mercedes. We didn't quite hit them all the time, but yeah, not a safe place to be hiking Mt Chiliad when I'm around. This time I do manage to get it down the side road. Really got to slow it down through there. I think I got to slow it down there more than I quite remember, as yeah, it's very easy to get the car to roll through that particular section, around the final corner. And for this series I am using the jump as the finish line, as the car soars across and they get stuck in the ditch. It made it all the way down the course, down the hill, and now we're just frantically trying to wiggle. We've got the Stirling stuck in the mud. I do eventually get the car free. Yeah, aside from the rear overhangs being a little bit of a pain on a couple of occasions, a good car to drive. Quite a nice, almost a nice easy car to get back into this, as yeah, it didn't have too many problems with the bumps. In actual fact, often it's so fast that it was getting too much airtime over the jumps. That was what was causing me the biggest of the issues. Yeah, I really like this car. I think it's a fantastic looking car. It drove the course very well. I mean, we're asking a stupid thing of this particular car coming all the way down from up there. Up next we have got the Osiris, that is essentially a Pagani Huayra. It's yeah, certainly from the back. From the front, not quite so much. A little bit of LaFerrari from the front, but from the rear it's totally a Pagani Huayra. We've gone for the race body kit. I like the wing. It's got a very silly wing, got a decent sized diffuser going on as well there. This being a supercar category, you would expect it to be pretty damn quick. Certainly, it fires itself off the lines. I was being careful to not to not hit the hikers, not to aggravate karma. It would really matter too much. First run is very unlikely to get a clean run, and certainly if you do get a clean first run, it's unlikely to be particularly quick. Once you do unleash this car in a straight line, it is very fast, and things were going remarkably well on the opening attempt until it came towards the end. It's a similar thing. I was on two wheels at one point, and they were just coming down here. I was trying to take it flat out, and I couldn't do it. You clip ever so slightly the hills around. It lifts the car up on two wheels, and the second it's up on two wheels at them speeds on this kind of terrain, it's off, and it tumbles and rolls its way. We lost the back of the car. That was all the back bodywork of the car. Yeah, you just can do bugger all about it. Coming into the hairpin, I carried too much speed on the way in. We ran a little bit wide on the way out, and well, we're going to fall down the mountain there. Yeah, not really a good idea. You don't want to run wide on the exit of that particular corner, because it's not exactly forgiving around there. Dip a wheel over the edge in a car this powerful when you've booted it, and it's going to go down the side of the mountain. Also clipping a rock at that particular point doesn't really, if I hadn't hit the rock I probably would have made it, but it just sort of lifted the car up. It just meant that we didn't get steering, didn't get braking and so on in time, and yeah, slightly missed the next corner, so got to be a little bit careful running wide there. We are back down at this section again. Me trying to take speed. I'm not sure, just looking at that, if there wasn't a little bit of bush involved in sort of throwing the car just fractionally off course. And again, at these sort of speeds, it doesn't take much. Just hitting one of the slow down bushes ever so slightly can be enough just to twist the car a little bit out of shape, and yeah, you're going to have an accident on such a narrow road. And the kamikaze hikers were back, and karma was to very quickly get me again. Made it around turn one this time, then got all unhappy and twitchy, and there's a rock over there. It's not really not the most spectacular crash I've had with a supercar, I will be honest. I just slightly misjudged it, and we got all twitchy and missed the course completely. Next one carried a little bit too much speed, ran over the edge, and car twisted around. That's not going anywhere. It's well and truly, judged by the blood splatter on the front of the car, yeah, we probably got a hiker on this one as well. Yeah, the Osiris is stuck there. Again, wasn't too bad really. Didn't take too long to get a decent run out of this car. It is a very quick car. It's a fast supercar. There were some crazy hikers on this course, I think I'm about millimetres away from from clobbering one of them. Managed to jump over them, fortunately. With the vehicle, the Cougars are still being suicidal though on the road. Yeah, this is a damn fast car. It really is a very quick vehicle. It does have a tendency to go up on two wheels. There is just a lot of grip. We've seen this with the high grip cars, the Voltic most notably. The sort of car you wouldn't expect a Voltic to be going up on two wheels. It's a sports car, low centre of mass and so on, but it has so much grip that around a track like this with the bumps and the crests and sort of the hilliness of the road, if you like, you'll see the car going up on two wheels, and this thing does it as well. It's not as bad as the Voltic, no, none of the supercars quite are, but yeah, if it's going up on two wheels just from pure grip, that means it's probably a pretty damn good handling car around here, but you've just got to be aware that it will do that. We didn't get bounced up on the landing, which was always nice, and I'm having to be, I definitely think, more cautious coming onto this part if you want to make it through there safely, because the cars were just rolling when you were trying to attack that. Did get a bit of a bump through the second to last corner, flat out around that final turn. Is fantastic in this car. We get a huge amount of airtime, saw well across the gap and landed it. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this vehicle. There's a huge amount of grip. The first time I drove this car as well was down that mountain. Yeah, really impressed. I do quite like it. I like the silly wing. I like the body kit you can put on it, and it was a very nice, easy car to drive. Just again, got to be careful with that final segment. Trying to get the car down the side road was causing issues. And finally, we have got the Virgo. I put it in the purple. I really like this car in the purple. I think it's a great looking vehicle. This one, well, I was expecting this to struggle a little bit more. I mean, we've had a supercar and we've had a sports classic car go down here, and now we're going for a great big muscle car. And this is a pretty damn sizable lengthwise. This is a really quite a long car. We've also gone for the tyre at the back for reasons of aero improving tyres. Sure, I'm sure that'll work on GTA as well as on Forza. Yeah, this car, I mean, muscle cars have tended to be quite fast down here. They tended to do okay. I mean, they're never likely to trouble the supercars, no, but they have, previous ones have done relatively well. And again, the opening run with this car was really rather good until I ran a little bit wide, found a bump at a bad place, and yeah, it's very easy to do. It's not a forgiving course. This Mt Chiliad one, you go a little bit wide. Certainly a car of this size, you just hit a bump slightly, it throws the car sideways, you're going to have a big off at the corner down the road. As we tried to slide my way through that turn, I may have carried a bit too much speed trying to get through there. Just ran a little bit wide. Again, we're only talking fractions. If I'd been just a fraction slower on the way into that corner, it would have been a really fantastic line. As it was, we fell off the cliff. Luckily, we did land on the road below, but still, yeah, there was a pretty sizable off. Another off, just pushing the car a little bit too hard, and then we couldn't really stop it. We scared another hiker. We do eventually come to a standstill next to the dune buggy. Again, it's another one of these instances where I just tried to get the power down, just tried to carry some speed, clipped a bump, and then that throws you all out of shape, and you can't quite bring it back. Again, this is definitely the area having the most issues with. You see the back of the car this time lifting up, don't have really a huge amount of control, and we've gone off the course. As I said, lots of rolling from these cars today, and a lot of the incidents were coming further down the course. Provided I wasn't doing anything stupid under braking into the first corner, I was kind of getting the first half relatively alright. It was later down on the course that I was having issues. Again, it's exactly the same place. This time running a fraction wide and managing to do a roll. And I also love how Michael closes the door mid-roll. That's some thought he has going on there to reach out and close the door as the car is tumbling and rolling around. I mean, I did make the odd mistake up at the top of the course, but I think this was the only one where I had a really big tumble. Certainly down the left side of the mountain. It's the only one I actually had a really big tumble down here, and it was a silly error by me. In the end, messed up the first corner, that threw me out of position for the next sort of little section, and then we go pirouetting our way down the mountainside. Do get the car just about stopped, avoiding the trees and breaking all of the rocks at that particular point. But yeah, it was slightly peculiar. I certainly did, I think, better at remembering how to drive the course than I was perhaps expecting with some of these cars. We're sliding it around quite a lot there, which isn't a good idea. Another hiker gets very lucky with a flying car going whizzing past their head. This time, I just got it sliding at the wrong point. Taking that jump sideways is a very bad idea. In a car like this, it just landed too much on its side and starts twisting. You're never going to be recovering that. And we're back here again for more two-wheeled action. It just gave up having grip there, flung it, or it gave up being on its wheels more like. It had quite a lot of grip to fling itself so violently onto its roof. And there we go, lost some more panels. It really is a bloody huge car, this thing. It's it's a sizable beast. But it's the same issues that are having with all of the cars. Is that last section is causing a lot more rollovers. I'm not going to say I'm too displeased. Rollovers are always good in FailRace videos, but yeah, they were the issues that I were having. This vehicle took a little bit longer to get this car down the mountain, but still wasn't terrible. All of these cars dealt with the bumps really, really well. None of the cars had too many issues with them, and around here didn't get any issues with the car. Occasionally, if I carried too much speed down here trying to be brave, you could overshoot the corner, as you saw. But yeah, on the most part, I mean, even with this car being really rather large, the hairpin was no problem. This was another nice handling car. Also pretty decent acceleration. Okay, yeah, it's not as fast as the supercar, but we're not expecting that. It's still pretty decent on the acceleration front, and then it's just sort of minding all of the bumps. I think there is a bush, that corner there where you see me just sort of jump the inside. I'm pretty sure there was a bush on the Xbox One version. There isn't on here, because I'm pretty sure I couldn't take that jumpy line on the Xbox One because it would just slow you down completely, whereas you can get away with it on here. As we come across the final of the big jumps, this run I do get the car bounced up at the rear, but have just about enough time to gather it all up. It's sliding. Sliding's okay down there. I'd rather it be sliding. The second it grips when you're carrying that sort of speed is when you get some issues with the car going up on two wheels. So sliding down there is okay. Not as fast through the final corner. Fighting it a little bit through there, and is across the line for the Virgo, and can't quite get it stopped. It's going to end up in the ditch as well. I quite like this car. I have to say, it drove nicely. It was decently quick. It was the issues the same I had with all three of them. Gonna have to be careful on that final run with getting the cars up on two wheels and rolling them. It may be a little bit stuck. I was trying to see if it could climb back up there. Nope. It's it's not quite that good. That is a very, very steep hill though to be asking the car to climb. But yeah, aside from the slide off at the finish line, I was impressed with the Virgo. To the times, well, being a new series, these are the only ones to compare into. The Osiris goes first with a 124.0. The Virgo and Stirling are both very, very close together. A 30.0 for the Virgo means it fractionally beats the Stirling's 130.2. Yeah, I'm very impressed with that Virgo. They are both good. The Virgo and Stirling were both good cars. Only 6 seconds off the supercar. That's quite impressive for a time down the Mt Chiliad course, being that close to the supercar. But yeah, there we go. All three of them were good fun vehicles to drive. All dealt with the off-road bits very, very well, and they all went for spectacular rolls at some point. So I would say a successful FailRace video. Well, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and until next time, goodbye.